Welcome back to English with Tom and Julia. I'm Tom, and I'm so glad you're here.
And I'm Julia. Whether you're on your commute, having coffee, or just taking a moment to yourself, this episode is for anyone who's ever felt scared to open their heart, even when love is real.
Today, we're diving into why love can feel terrifying. Why even when everything seems perfect, we hesitate, pull back, or overthink.
And of course, we'll share some ways to navigate that fear so you can experience love without letting anxiety get in the way.
Julia, why is it that even when we find someone amazing, love can feel scary?
It's because love isn't just a feeling, it's a vulnerability test. When you care about someone, you're exposing your heart. And our brains, they naturally protect us from pain.
Exactly. Your mind sees the possibility of loss, rejection, or heartbreak, and it kicks in defense mode, even if your partner is completely safe and trustworthy.
So you might overthink every message, every small action, and even pull away when everything is actually fine.
It's a weird paradox. The closer we get to real love, the more our brains whisper, "Be careful, danger ahead."
A lot of this comes from attachment styles. For example, if someone grew up fearing abandonment or inconsistent care, they may develop an anxious or avoidant style.
Right. An anxious attachment might make you cling or overanalyze everything. An avoidant attachment might make you pull back the moment things get serious.
And neither is wrong. They're survival strategies that worked in the past, but now they sometimes make real love feel scary.
Understanding your attachment style helps you recognize your patterns, and that's the first step in learning to stay present in love without fear.
One of the scariest things about love is the feeling that you might lose yourself. When we open our hearts, we worry. If I merge my life with someone else, what happens to who I am? It's that fear of compromise, of change, that makes even healthy love feel risky.
Exactly. You're not just sharing time, you're sharing energy, decisions, routines, even dreams. And naturally, we fear that our identity will be diluted, that our priorities, our personality, or even our independence will somehow vanish.
But here's the insight. Healthy love doesn't take away from you. It enhances you. It challenges you, inspires growth, and gives you space to be authentic. The fear is real, but it's often based on imagining a worst-case scenario instead of reality.
And the more we let this fear dictate our actions, the more we shrink away from intimacy. We might hesitate to speak up, hold back feelings, or retreat at the first sign of emotional closeness.
So the challenge is learning to recognize the fear, acknowledge it, and step forward anyway. Because the growth, the connection, and the joy of love are worth confronting that discomfort.
Another big factor is our past experiences. Anyone who's been hurt, rejected, betrayed, or abandoned carries a subtle, early warning system in their heart.
Yes, even if the new relationship is healthy and loving, the brain tends to interpret small, neutral actions as potential threats. A late text? Danger. A small disagreement? Catastrophe.
And this is what makes real love feel scary. It's not about the current partner, it's about protecting yourself from old pain.
Exactly. These patterns are understandable. They're survival mechanisms. But if they go unchecked, they create unnecessary distance, anxiety, and even self-sabotage.
The key is awareness. Understanding that these responses are echoes of the past allows you to respond consciously, not react out of fear. You can choose trust and presence over automatic protection.
And little by little, your heart becomes less guarded. You learn that vulnerability is safe, and love becomes an opportunity instead of a threat.
So how do you know if fear is controlling your love life? One big sign is overanalyzing every interaction. Every word, every glance, every message becomes a potential threat, a reason to doubt yourself or the relationship.
Another sign is emotional avoidance. You might physically or mentally pull away when things feel serious. It's like creating distance before you can be hurt.
Or perhaps you constantly seek reassurance. You need confirmation that everything is okay, that you're loved, that you're doing it right. This shows fear is driving your decisions rather than confidence or trust.
And sometimes it's subtle. You might unconsciously test your partner, create drama, or project past hurts onto the present. These patterns are all fear in action.
And sometimes it's subtle. You might unconsciously test your partner, create drama, or project past hurts onto the present. These patterns are all fear in action.
Exactly. And when you act intentionally rather than reactively, love stops feeling scary and starts feeling like a space to grow, explore, and truly connect. Now that we've talked about the fears, losing yourself, past heartbreak, overthinking, how do we move forward without letting fear control us? One of the first tools is mindful awareness. Notice when fear is influencing your decisions. Acknowledge it, but don't let it dictate your actions.
Yes. Another powerful method is gradual exposure. Take small steps toward emotional intimacy. Share a personal story, express appreciation, or communicate honestly about feelings. Each small act is like a mini rehearsal for courage, building confidence and rewiring your brain.
And remember, self-compassion is key. Fear often brings shame. I shouldn't feel this way, I'm weak. But the truth is, feeling afraid is natural. It's a sign that love matters to you. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend navigating the same emotions.
Finally, talking to trusted friends, mentors, or even journaling your thoughts can help. Naming the fear reduces its power. When you articulate your worries, you often realize how exaggerated they can be.
Let's get practical. How do we actually care less about fear and start enjoying love without overthinking every move?
First, I like the idea of a courage log. Every day, write down one moment where you acted despite fear. It can be small, sending a heartfelt text, sharing something personal, or initiating a difficult conversation. Over time, you'll notice a pattern of bravery forming. Your brain starts to register, I can handle this. Fear doesn't control me.
I love that. Another tool is reframing your thoughts. Instead of thinking, I might get hurt, you replace it with, I'm brave enough to experience love fully, even if it's uncertain. It doesn't erase fear, but it shifts your focus from avoidance to growth.
And then there's gradual exposure. You don't have to dive into intense vulnerability all at once. Start with small, manageable steps. Share a story, express appreciation, or admit a little worry. Each action is like a mini rehearsal, training your heart and mind to stay open.
Finally, surround yourself with supportive people who encourage authenticity. If your environment reinforces fear, it will grow. If it reinforces trust and courage, your fear naturally diminishes. The people around you matter. They shape your perception of what's safe and worth investing in.
All of these tools work together. Awareness, courage, reframing, exposure, and support. They create a foundation where fear is acknowledged but doesn't dominate.
Exactly. You don't have to eliminate fear entirely. You just learn to love despite it.
Love can feel scary because it matters. Fear is not a signal that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you care deeply, and that's human.
So notice the fear, embrace it, but don't let it stop you. Take small steps, celebrate courage, and remember that every time you act despite fear, your heart grows stronger.
Thank you for spending time with us today.
And if this episode helped you, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Every time you share, you help someone realize that fear doesn't have to hold them back.
Your future self will thank you for every brave step you take today.
See you next time, and remember, love is worth the fear.